My name is George DeLeon. I'm the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach at Syracuse University. This videotape is a tremendous teaching tool on the teaching of a pass protection progression that can be used at any level, from Pop Warner all the way through to the NFL. I've had the good fortune to have coached at all levels of football, including the NFL, and this progression can be used at all levels. With the liberalization of the use of the hands at the high school and college level about 20 years ago, this has made the ability to pass protect so much easier than it was in the 50s and 60s and earlier. As an offensive line coach, you have the ability, if you can have a great teaching tool and a great teaching progression, to help your offensive line become great pass protectors. As we begin our progression on teaching pass blocking technique in a drop back pass situation, the first thing we must teach the offensive lineman to do is to get into what we call the perfect pass block position, which we call the duck position. And to teach the duck position, we have the offensive lineman walk up to the line with his feet approximately under his armpits. We tell him to come to the line and ramrod his back. We also are trying to indicate here a camera with his thumbs together and his hands up so we can look through his first fingers and his thumb. It is crucial that his hands, his thumb, remains at the chin, as you can see here. We then tell him to stagger his feet and then take his butt, keep the ramrod in his back. As you can see, that athlete is leaning backwards. We're trying to coach him right here to keep a ramrod in his back, to keep a straight back. The number one issue in pass protection is that your shoulders must remain behind the knee. This is crucial at all times. Now, what we want the offensive lineman to do now is bend and get approximately parallel to the line of scrimmage with his thigh. Now, he is leaning back here a little bit, but the weight should be on the inside half of his shoe. He should have an outside foot back in a staggered position. This will allow him on contact with a pass rusher to have a brace and a balance of support with his back foot. All the weight must, and I repeat, must be on the inside half of his front foot. That would be a typical duck position there. Again, not too bad. Should be leaning a little bit. His back should be straighter, not leaning back. Don't lean back. The back should be perfectly straight. Now that's a great picture of what the final position should look like, right there. The only thing that I would do better here with this football player is to have his elbows bent slightly. He doesn't have to have perfectly straight elbows. Now here, we're using a concept where we want the football player to become comfortable in the duck position. So we have a situation where the football player is now just walking forward. We call this, a duck walk. See it again as we start again. Again, you never would do this in football, but he's got to learn how to keep his back straight. As you can see there, it's a tremendous job and being comfortable in his duck position. That's an excellent job right there. Now, this is more realistic. We now want to take what we call a backward duck, where now the duck must be in a backward position where this is more natural. He must become, now you can see I'm trying to simulate here how a defensive lineman will attack him, but his back must stay straight. His chin must never move forward. Again, so you learned in this drill the duck walk, and the backward duck. This is a continuation of the duck walk. Here again is a duck walk forward with, again, more repetitions with 5 guys going at once. Again, we're still, if you remember, we're still working off our grid squares. You can see we get a lot of repetitions of this drill quickly. Again, trying to keep a straight back, trying to, again, just get them comfortable handling the duck position. You can see on the tape here, we can get 15 guys working here pretty quickly. Now we come back, and we'll come back with the backward duck here, and you can see this being done again in sequence with a number of athletes working at once. Again, this is more realistic. You can see some doing it good, some doing it poorly. we really want to keep the back straight as we walk back. Again, just to show you how you can incorporate this drill, again, with the points we've emphasized, with a lot of guys doing it at once. The offensive lineman is in the duck position, and this is the position that you'd like to see him out of when he gets out of his stance, from his stance to get to the pass protection position to block a pass rusher. Now, one thing he must learn is now he's in this position. The pass rusher on him decides to take an inside move, an inside path to the quarterback. What is the offensive lineman to do? What we teach here is what we call a power step. Remember our basic premise. All the weight must be on the inside half of the up foot. So you cannot shuffle that foot inside because all your weight's there. This is a crucial point in pass protection, a crucial point. What must happen here is that you must pick the foot up because all the weight's on it. You can't shuffle it and power step it in the ground. Slam it in the ground 2 or 3 times, again, to get the simulation of a block on an inside defender. Watch this here. We go power step, bring the back foot with you. Power step, bring the back foot with you. Power step, bring the back foot with you. We talk about slamming that foot in the ground to have a brace of support when you have to punch with the inside hand. Watch it here. Bang, bang, bang. That's the type of tempo that you're looking for in this drill. Watch it again. Bang, bang, bang. Now you say to yourself, why can't he just shuffle? Well, if he shuffles it, that means that there's no weight on an inside foot. So you must be able to pick it up and put it back down quickly. The next important concept here that we must learn is what we call a kick slide. The kick slide is utilized when the pass rusher takes in wide outside lineman and rushes up the field. The concept now for the offensive lineman is to push off the inside foot where all his weight is and kick with the outside foot at approximately a 45-degree angle. The 45-degree angle kick allows him to keep his shoulder square, but he must slide the inside foot with him to remain in balance. A couple of coaching points here that are crucial. Number one, even though you're going out after an outside rusher, all your weight must still remain on the inside half of your body, on the inside half of your shoe. Secondly, you see the gentleman here, the offensive lineman in question, has his hands again perfectly straight, his arms extended. There should be a slight flex in his elbow here, which would help you tremendously. That's an excellent job by this offensive lineman of being able to kick out to a wide rusher and still maintain his weight on the inside foot, as you can see it right there, and his shoulder square. That's crucial. Again, here now you're going to see a number of athletes working at once. These are now obviously power steps inside, where you see the inside rush, the foot being slammed into the ground, an inside hand being utilized by the second lineman to punch the inside defender going inside. You get a good picture of that here in the drill, okay? Now, again, you'll see power steps on the left. These are left side people power stepping inside. You don't want them to gain any ground with their power steps stay parallel to the line. Notice the stagger. We always have to have that stagger. Now here's the kick slide here with the outside rush going after a wide rusher now. Again, you see the staggered stance, and again, you see more athletes doing it at one time. Another drill that we like to utilize here to emphasize to the offensive lineman the fact that you must keep your shoulders at all times behind your knee. We will actually do the power step and kick slide with our hands behind your back. We like this because this gets we say to our kids all the time, show them your chest, push your shoulders back. What that does is it keeps your shoulders and body away from the defender. Here you can see a drill where we're getting everyone working at once, working power steps with hands behind your back. Then you'll see here in a minute the kick slides with everyone now working with the kick slides with hands behind your back. What this does, it really forces their head and shoulders back. And you can see guys on the right going back to the right, guys on the left going back to the left, which is natural. You can see that the kick slides and the type of footwork that we're using there. Again, another method of using power steps and kick slides with hands behind your back to emphasize the shoulders back. You can see by putting their hands back, it really, really sticks their chest out and keeps their shoulders back. We have the offensive lineman in a perfect duck position. We have a partner with his hands behind his back who's going to rush at him and give him his chest to develop confidence in the player's punch. Now, understand, the punch is utilized to stop the defender, but the pass blocker must understand that his footwork is most important. Here, as the defender is rushing toward him, he wants to brace his back foot as he punches a 6-inch punch with his hands. Again, I'm going to refer to the elbows here. The elbows should be slightly bent a little more than they're seen in this picture. But the defender will rush at him hard. The pass blocker must punch and brace with his back foot. The whole purpose of the punch and reset drill is to learn how to punch and reset your back foot. Watch it here. Punch, reset. Punch, reset. Weight on the inside half of the up foot. Punch and reset. Now you see the concept of the drill, just to get the timing of the jam with the brace of the back foot. The next drill that we're talking about is retreat punch. Retreat punch, again, is a progression. As you can see, we're building in progression here to make it more realistic toward the ultimate goal of pass protection. This is the next sequence in the progression. Now the offensive lineman is in the perfect duck position. He has already learned the retreat punch. Now he's going to give ground grudgingly as he hits a defender. The defender must back up a yard. Give him a chance to get reset. Give him a chance to get reset. But let's watch it from the start now. That's the drill. Now let's just watch it at the beginning. Now what you really want the defender to do here is to rush at him hard, stop, then backpedal so the defender can get reset. Here it is again. Boom. Now, again, you see the brace of the back foot in combination with the punch. The weight must remain on the front foot. Don't let his head go forward. You see here, the shoulders remain behind the knee. That is the ultimate in pass protection, the ultimate goal. The shoulders must remain behind the knee. We must have a low profile, a little bit more bend in the knee here would be better. Thighs should be a little more parallel, but again, I think you see the brace and with the back foot in conjunction with the punch is what we're looking for here. The next drill that we do to combine a lot of these same activities is the mirror drill. What the mirror drill does is we get a right tackle or a right guard in conjunction with his opposite teammate. In other words, we'll have a right guard with a left guard, a right tackle with a left tackle, opposite each other. So now you can see the power steps here here's the power step mirror, and it turns into a kick slide mirror. One more time, let's watch the drill. Let's watch the drill. Power step mirror turns into a kick slide mirror. You can see we do it in the cone to allow distinct reference points. Bang, bang, bang. You can see the person to the left of the pitcher really slamming his foot in the ground. That's what we're looking for in a power step. You can see the person on the right side of the screen not nearly as forceful or as physical, not as good. But you can see the guy on the right-hand side of the screen has perfect back position. The guy on the left is leaning forward too much. So there's positives and negatives of both. But watch the power into the ground. Now they learn the tempo of the drill. That's an excellent shot of the mirror drill. The next drill that we do in this progression is the mirror drill with a power step punch. Now the partner puts his hands behind the back. He'll become the defender. Notice his position. He's given his chest in position so the pass blocker can block him. Notice that we're using cones that we can't come beyond. There's the great patience. Now, as the defender power steps inside, the drill is designed for these reasons. Number one, create a power step, get to the cone. That's the point of departure. And now the rusher must rush at him with violence and allow the defender to have great patience. Don't lunge. Wait. Time to punch in the jam. Watch the timing of the punch in the jam right here. This is great, great, great patience. Boom. The only negative part of this drill that I don't like what the offensive lineman is doing here is I don't like the straightness of his elbows. There should be just about a 6-inch flex of those elbows in space. We don't want them totally locked out. Now the drill will then kick into power step. Mirror drill with a power step punch will now kick into mirror drill with a kick slide punch. Now let's watch the kick slide facet of it here. Kick, slide, kick, slide. Now watch the patience. Time the jam. Time the jam. We say don't make contact until he steps on your toes. That's the key. You don't want to lunge at the man. You want to use that back foot in the brace. Let's watch that one more time. Okay, kick, slide, kick, slide, kick, slide, kick, slide, kick, slide. Patience, 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 jam. That's a perfect example of patience with the punch on the mirror drill with kick slide. Now, the most important part of pass protection is getting from your stance into the duck position. We've spent a lot of time already in the duck position to give the offensive lineman confidence to learn the skills. Now he must go from the stance into the duck position. This is without question the hardest thing to do. The way we teach it is we teach there's only 4 possibilities that can happen to you. Number one, this is a right guard who now has to block a defender to his inside. The right guard must power step with his inside foot and get his inside foot even with the defender's inside foot. We call that getting shoe to shoe. He then must slide the back foot so he gets in the duck position squared up. Now, one thing that you have to realize when you make a set from your stance, it's as much of dropping your butt as it is raising up. If you watch the offensive lineman here, you'll see him do a great job of getting his back upright. This is crucial. That is crucial right there. He now is in position to block the defender. The other thing that I'm a big believer in is that the guy who is portraying the defensive lineman here must give the offensive lineman time to get his feet set. Make it a good, positive experience. Make the learning be in favor of the offense. Don't make it a rush where the technique is really, really rushed and consequently done poorly. I think this is done fairly well here. Watch the inside alignment. Power step, get the foot shoe to shoe, get your back upright, and slide the back foot. Inside aligned, let's see the set. Good job right there. Now we add the punch to it. So it's now inside aligned, set, punch. And again, you can take this in progression. Just let him take the set first, then let him take the set again, and then punch with it. This is the one where he's inside aligned. All right, now the next situation is we want to now teach the offensive lineman what to do with a feet-on-feet or head-up defender. Again, in this position, we really, again, want to be worried about getting beat to the inside. That's why it's very important that our power steps stay in the ground. We just kick back slightly. There's not much width there, slightly with the outside foot. Now you can see our position. That's the position we'd like to be on the defender. The inside foot is in cement. Now we've taken away, we have a real obstruction right there and also a base of support for us to punch with the inside foot. You really see a tremendous job right there by the offensive lineman of getting a good set. Now he shouldn't move the inside foot. You see it? You see it? start to shuffle slightly out. Don't do that. Keep it in Savant on a head-up set because he may go inside, in which case what would you have to do? The obvious answer is you then would have to power step on the inside set. The next set that I want to demonstrate here is the set where a right guard, in this case, has a defender on his outside shoulder. The defender here is the coach here, myself, in the blue jacket. So that gentleman there I'm in front of there is the right guard. Again, this is simulating a set with a guy on a tight outside shade to your outside. The inside foot is in the ground. The offensive lineman knows right now which way he's going to set. He's going to set with his outside foot because all he has to do is keep his weight on the inside foot because the guy's outside him already. Understand the importance is to make sure he understands that the quarterback is inside him, so all his weight's got to be inside. Let's watch the set. That's pretty good right there. Notice the back is upright. Notice that both right guards there are getting the foot down. I like the second guy better, to be honest with you, number 73. Why? Because I like to have them kick twice, tap I call it, because that gets a two-step sequence going with their feet. But they don't have to kick real wide because the defender is right on their outside shade. Both 61 and 73 here would be simulating what the right guard would do, okay, with a guy on his outside shoulder. Obviously, it would be the opposite here. Watch the left guard do it next. Now, the left guards would do it. Watch number 62 here in the back. Okay, now you see their set right there going to the left. All right, now the next set is for a defender who is aligned wide. This obviously applies mostly to tackles, probably predominantly to tackles, versus a wide rushing end. Now, the thought process here is very simple. We want to kick at a 45 and a kick slide landmark that would put us at an intersection point that would take away the quarterback's rush lane. What we want to make sure here is that the outside foot kicks to the crotch of the wide rusher. There's a tremendous danger here that you will overkick. The other danger that is crucial that must be avoided is that there's so much weight going outside that the defender can slip underneath with some sort of slap move or move inside. So even though the defender is wide, you cannot give away the inside. Your weight must stay on your inside foot. Let's watch the sets here. You can see in both cases, both right tackles in this case, are doing a great job of keeping their weight inside as they kick to the outside crotch of the defender. That's beautiful right there. All right, the next situation that must be coached is the pass set of the offensive lineman when the defender is lined up outside you, but then elects to rush underneath you. Now we have to assume that the defensive lineman is going to rush up the field or rush outside when he starts upfield. So we must set outside. Then once we determine he's coming back inside, we have to reset and then power step to take away the inside rush. Let's watch it here from a right guard standpoint. Again, the timing is a little different than a tackle. But here's the right guard setting outside for an outside alignment and then having to readjust his power step back inside. Again, you can see, again, we like him a little quicker with that power step initially, but you can see it ends up pretty good. He kicks to defend the right rush. Then he now has to power step for the inside technique. Now let's go back. Let's watch the tackle do it now. Watch the tackle here, number 71, the right tackle. Now this is at a tackle position. The problem is sometimes the defender is delayed. Here he's taking two sets outside. Well, actually, it's one kick here. But now he says, uh-oh, he's coming under. Now watch him reset and now power step inside with that inside foot. Again, it's got to be physical, and it's got to be quick. This next drill is another punch drill that I think can be utilized as a change-up. Now we're teaching, in this case, a right guard to work on his power step inside versus shields. What we want to do is work on a line and have the bags come at them to demonstrate the power step technique. What we're trying to accomplish here is the combination of the power step and the punch. Power step and the punch. That's what we're looking to do here. And we do it about 5 or 6 times right there. And the other thing you're looking for as a coach is to make sure that his head does not come forward, that he stays on line and he benches there. We have 2 or 3 guys going now in sequence. All right, now we have the kick slide. Now we have the same punch drill, but now we're kick sliding outside. Kick sliding outside. Kick sliding outside. Now you see the angle that we're working at, okay? Again, now we're combining a number of skills. We're combining now the outside set, staying on the line, shoulder square, outside foot in the crotch. Again, you can see that more than one athlete, again, can start the drill in order. The next progression, and really the final progression in this one-on-one pass block progression, would now be a live defensive rusher against an offensive lineman. I'm a big believer that you must spend a lot of time coaching the fundamentals before an offensive lineman is allowed to go live. Because if he doesn't have the fundamentals taught and coached and ingrained in himself, he will go caveman. He will forget his technique. He will do things that are against what you want to teach as an offensive line coach. So I'm a big believer in that he must have great confidence in the techniques that you want coached before he is engaged in live combat. Here's a situation now where our left guard, number 76, is going to go live against a live defensive rusher in a red jersey here. We have set up the a stationary bag at about 7 yards deep to simulate the drop of a quarterback and a 5-step drop. We only like one lineman going at once to prevent injury. We've tried it before with 2 or 3 going at once, but there can be a big pileup at the bag, which is, I think, inviting some problems. So we only go one-on-one. Let's watch the technique here again with an outside set, and just to simulate the drill, you can see here the offensive lineman does a really good job of setting. Look at the nice little set, the 2-foot sequence that we talked about. Notice the weight on his inside foot right there. There's the punch. Again, great job of keeping his head and shoulders back to the finish. As you can see, this drill can really give you a great opportunity in a live situation with each kid getting a chance. And again, every offensive lineman takes a pass set. What's happening is the defensive line coach there behind in the blue sweat top is giving the offensive lineman the cadence, and I am telling which defensive lineman is live. None of the offensive linemen here know which one is live until the whistle, until the whistle, until the ball is actually snapped. So this way here, they all have to practice taking a set. Now, in this case, the right tackle is live, number 71. Here you can see the wide rush technique and all that goes into it. So this is a great drill and should be the accumulation and the culmination of your pass block progression. The next aspect of pass protection is probably the most difficult, and that is 2 offensive linemen blocking 2 adjacent defensive linemen who are employing a defensive line twist or stunt. The one thing that we work on very hard in this area, in this case, in the picture that you're looking at here, you're looking at a left guard and a left tackle versus a defensive tackle and a defensive end. The thing that in every line twist that occurs is that there is a penetrator and there is a looper. Now, that must be drummed into the heads of the offensive linemen. There is always a penetrator and there is always a looper. The most dangerous man in this organization right now is the penetrator. He must be stopped because that has the most direct line to the quarterback for a sack. So it is crucial that we do a great job of stopping the penetrator. In this particular line stunt that we're showing you here, the man that's aligned over the defensive left guard is going to be the penetrator. The man that's aligned over the defensive left tackle, the man that's aligned over the offensive left tackle is going to be the looper. He's going to loop in behind to take a path to the quarterback. Now, the number one issue for the offensive lineman is this. They don't know the twist is coming. Consequently, they have to take their pass sets according to the techniques that they see. In this case, both offensive linemen have defensive linemen on their outside shade. So they both should kick back with their outside foot. The inside foot should remain in the ground. Now, the man who has the looper immediately will take his inside hip and he will bang it against the hip of the adjacent offensive lineman. That will stop the penetration. The penetrator right now is on the left guard. He sees him try to penetrate through the gap. So all he does is flatten out the penetrator, doesn't know it's a twist until he gets bumped off. Once he feels that collision, he will then come off for the twister. We call this forcing the switch. Now let's go through this step by step. Here's the set right now. We don't know it's a twist right now. We're just taking our set with our inside foot in the ground based on the alignment of the defender. Now, right now, instantaneously, the outside tackle, the offensive tackle, sees that his end is coming in. See how he collisions the hip? That is well done right there. Notice the wall. Notice the obstruction that's put in there right now for the penetrator. Now no one can get through there. Now the man that has a chance to come around later is the looper, but he's going to take longer to get to the quarterback. Consequently, our guard can come over and make the block. This is what we would refer to as a TE on defense. The tackle is first, the end is second. The T is the penetrator, the E comes over the top. So on the TE, the tackle becomes the man who will bump the guard off it. Let's watch it one time at full speed and see the execution of the drill. Again, I'm doing this first with offensive linemen being the defensive linemen to develop the confidence in the technique. All right, now the next stunt that we work on with the right guard and tackle is going to be the ET, in which the end, the outside rusher, becomes the penetrator, and the man over the guard becomes the looper. Same situation here. Both offensive linemen will take the appropriate set based on the alignment of the defender. In this case, both linemen will set with an outside set. Secondly, we then got to determine who's the looper and who's the penetrator. In this case, the right guard in this case will have the looper, and he consequently will then bump the hip of the right tackle. The right tackle must do a better job here of power stepping the inside rush because he doesn't know it's a twist. Once he feels the collision with the guard bumping, then he will come off and block the looper. One more time. In every twist, there is a penetrator. In every twist, there is a looper. The man who has the looper forces the switch. He collisions the hip. The man who has the penetrator must stop the penetration. Let's watch it here to the right. Again, this is done at a slower pace to give him some confidence. There's the set based on the alignment. We don't know it's a twist right now. Now all of a sudden, the right tackle sees the understunt. Now he must come down and power step. The right guard sees that. Now he turns and bumps the right tackle off it. Again, a culmination to this progression would be obviously teaching the pass protection versus defensive lineman live, doing a live twist. This is just an example of the same drill, now using two defensive linemen against two offensive linemen. And you can see us now, again, the defensive line coach would give the stunt. The offensive line coach would block the twist. Now, this stunt isn't really executed very well. It's executed decently by the tackle, the right tackle here. He does a pretty good job of running the line or taking a nice outside set. He has a looper, and he at least tries to collision the hip. The guard doesn't get off quick enough, nor does he flatten out the penetrator enough. Now, this is not an artistic success, certainly, but it does show you how we can now apply the same techniques in a progression and then culminate it in a competition against live defensive linemen. It is our intention with this tape that you as a coach can help your offensive linemen become better pass protectors. This is not an overnight thing. This is a process that's going to take time, blood, sweat, and tears to make your offensive linemen tremendous pass protectors. But with the tools given you in this tape, I firmly believe that you can help any offensive lineman at any level get better in this phase of the game.